everybody, happy Tuesday. We're all recovering from the impies. I hope you're all well. We have some very, very exciting stuff and some very exciting people with us today because we're talking about our brand new game that we've made in Dreams a long climb ago, which we have a release date in mind, but maybe we'll tell you at the end of the stream. We gave you a little sneak peek with some art on social media last week, and the lovely people that you're hearing from today were part of our creator roundtable, roundtable last week. But you're going to find out what they've been working on. So you've met them already, but let's do some introductions. And the way we're doing this, JJ is above me. So JJ, who are you?
Hey, I'm JJ, and I am a level designer at Media Molecule.
Nice.
Is that enough? That's all you need.
Perfect. Cool. Good vibes.
Awesome.
Are you chill? Are you good today?
I'm really incredibly chill. Yeah, really chill. Obviously recovering from everything that's just happened, but yeah, getting there.
Nice. And next is Dan. Dan Goddard.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, you?
I'm alright, thanks. I'm Dan. I work in the art team. I'm the senior artist in the art team for a long time ago.
Excellent. Yeah, good vibes. We're doing all of this today. Woo! All right, Sinead, you're next.
Hey, I'm Sinead. I'm sort of a general artist at Media Molecule. And yeah, I'm just excited to show off all the art we've been working on behind the scenes.
I'm very excited, and you and JJ are relatively new molecules for the community. So it's exciting to have you on your first streams. So welcome. And next to Sinead is Mike Pang.
Hello.
How are you?
Thanks for introducing me.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm Mike Pang, and I'm an animator.
Nice. Excellent. And together you are we're calling you the Alka team. A good, nice abbreviation of a long climb ago. So, a long climb ago. New MM game that you guys you've been working on. We're releasing to the community. But JJ, what is a long climb ago?
Wow. Well, a long climb ago is a game that fuses the action of classic platformers and am I allowed to say Tetris?
Yes, of course.
I don't know what we're allowed. Yeah. It's kind of got this classic platforming meets Tetris gameplay where you are essentially trying to go through levels by building and platforming using falling blocks and platforming skills, I guess. Yeah, you're basically trying to get to the top of this castle to stop a catastrophe happening in the world of a long time ago. Guess that's the game.
Nice. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. And where's the idea come from? Was it part of a jam? Was it something you guys have sort of brought together all as a group? Or what's the origins of it? That is a question to any of you.
Well, I'll take it again because I guess it makes sense. It was basically the start of last year. We were looking at, well, actually I was just trying to learn Dreams. So it was starting as I hadn't been there for very long, and I was trying to learn. I hadn't been here for very long. I was trying to learn logic. I was trying to learn all this good stuff. And so Pete Field, who's legendary designer, was basically absolute hero. He basically was like, well, why don't you try just prototyping some small games. There was kind of discussion around let's make some small games, but without really knowing it was going to go anywhere. So I was just I just came up with a bunch of little tiny ideas. A lot of them were based on using both joysticks. It was having different features on different joysticks, so having different game mechanics on. So the initial pitch for this is part of that, and that was the one that Pete liked the most. Pete was like, well, I'll help you start prototyping it. So we started working on it together, and the very first idea was that you were going to move with the left stick and control blocks with the right stick at the same time, and it was going to be this kind of like moving the blocks and jumping on them. And I tried that, and it was an absolute nightmare, and it was really, really, really hard to follow. Like it was actually broke your brain. So I thought, okay, maybe not. But that was So that's the very initial start point, and then from there, just trying to kind of make that like. It was quite quick to get to a point where we're like, oh, this is actually quite interesting. Like there's something here that could be done, but we didn't have a clue what the form of that was. At the start, it was just this kind of like endless scrolling thing where you were just going to be like, see how high you can get by climbing on these bricks that you're full of, that are coming down. And that was the very first prototype we had. That was the kind of the very initial point, and at that stage it was just me and Pete. Basically, Pete was helping me learn logic by making this prototype, and it was only when we got to like the next stage of like, oh, we might actually make this, that everybody came in and just made the game like a million times better, which was really cool. But
nice. And then we're gonna check out the game. Don't worry. I'm going to show you my long time ago skills. But for Dan and Sinead, like obviously Dan, you're a seasoned molecule. Sinead's like one of the first projects you worked on at MM.
It's a big one.
How did you go about finding the look for the game?
I think originally Paco, one of our other artists, came up with this little concept that maybe we could add this like Disney 50s Mary Blair, Ivan Earl look. And I think Dan did the first level in this style, and that was just like love at first sight.
It was the 1950s sort of Disney love letter to that sort of era. It's quite an important one because everyone knows it, and it's Ivanhoe, Mary Blair. It's just really important, and we were all on board with it. Basically, and really felt that fantasy setting. So did it all come together quite quickly? Yeah, really naturally. Like we see the starting point from Paco, and we were like, I get it. You know what I mean? I was like,
the foundation.
I love it.
Yeah, the art direction, the foundation of it is so strong. It kind of everything just sort of grew from that, really. Even from the character designs as well. Is that originally I started just doing my own stuff, but then actually it didn't really sit in the sort of 1950s, so it's actually just going for super angular stuff. It all sort of came together quite quickly.
What's it like? Oh, sorry, Sinead, you go.
Sorry, I was just going to say a lot of artists sort of love this style, so it was such a great opportunity to pay homage to it, because I think it's one of those things that loads of people love and loads of people like to look at, but you don't get much chance to actually make a homage to it very often, so this was a really cool opportunity.
And it's really interesting sort of applying that to sort of like a game setting as well, because all that stuff's all 2D and hand drawn and everything, so it's really nice to explore those techniques in Dreams.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So for like Mike and Dan, like we've not actually made something like this in Dreams like before. Like it looks super different. So what's it been like molding our game to make something like this for you two?
I mean, I've been on Dreams for quite a while now. Like I think about 12 years. So it's always fun when you get this kind of challenge in Dreams, because Dreams could do anything, right? It's just brilliant. Yeah. So when you're you've got this awesome a foundation for an art style, and then you've got this Dreams, which is just awesome, and then just to sort of mix the two and sort of try out all these different techniques. It's just really good fun.
I love that. Because we all found our own little niche thing about it as well. Because I come from like a traditional 2D animation background, and when we were doing this, I thought, let's just do all the effects in 2D instead of hand draw them frame by frame sort of thing. Yeah. And the actual sort of the whole thing just all comes together really nicely. It all sort of ties up.
Yeah.
So that's something as well. Yeah, because we all sort of our own. I wouldn't say bosses or leads almost on it, so we could all have our take on this is what we want from this. So I want the animation style to be like this, and it was very good.
It's cool. I was going to say that just to add that as well, like I was going to say a similar thing as well. Add into the soup. We've got the Ivanhoe, Mary Blair, and then Sinead and Mike. You know what I mean? Mix it all up, and you get this really unique look. And Dreams really complements that as well, because it just really enhances your personal influences and styles.
Amazing. And then before we jump into the game and check it out, and we share some bits and pieces as we go. We'll check out like 10-15 minutes of it maybe. Like bring it back to you, JJ. Like seeing the idea come together after working with molecules. That must have been just awesome for you.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. Like it was so unexpected to the point where like the stuff we were working on was like the very first prototype stuff that I had done so badly, like the worst logic in the world, and people were like working on it. It was almost embarrassing, but it was really, really, yeah, it was incredible. Like it is such an experience that you just don't really get, like to work in a small team and have like real kind of ownership and be able to have that much creative input on like this is going to be. And I think again, just referring back to that like first image that Paco did was so inspiring to me, even as somebody who like I've kind of been working on the prototype for a while, and you get a little bit stale with ideas, I think, without other people really having that kind of creative input on it. So when I saw that, it immediately like I was like, wow, like I can see this, and it it inspired like mechanics, it inspired like story, it inspired everything going forward. So like that was a really important moment. And yeah, from then it was like, yeah, we didn't, when it came to actual production, like it all had to come together very quickly. And I think like it was such a great team. I think working with all of these people, it was such a perfect team. Like we just really, I can't really explain how it worked. It just did it. We all had like such, we all cared about different parts of this game, and we all cared about like letting other people have their part as well. And I think that's the most important thing, is like none of us were like precious about things to the point where we weren't able to like let everybody into all the spaces and kind of like craft it all together. So yeah, it was a really crazy, amazing experience.
Amazing.
I think what's amazing actually though, even though this was like your first sort of way of learning logic in Dreams, I think we've actually kept 90% of it and just sort of sellotaped on top of it. It was because it's the only game that we made where we didn't have to worry about the firmware, so we just thought, well, there's no point optimizing this.
I think, well, we
can't remix this and look at it.
Yeah, I know, you definitely wouldn't want to look at it. But I think it was something about just like, like the time. I think that's what was great about Dreams as well, is because like I think in other engines, like things can get so complicated when you start trying to kind of go back and edit old things, whereas like there's a lot of it was so easy to kind of take the things that we'd made at the start, pull them into new scenes, like and be able to build on those rather than kind of like needing to recreate everything again. Like it was really, really cool. But yeah, nobody should look at the back end because it's messy.
No. It looks lovely and beautiful on the top, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
And it works. So at the end of the day, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Right. Let's check out the start of it. So Sinead, I want to jump to you because the cover art, the splash screen here is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
How did
I'll just
do this?
Explain it. So I initially just did a 2D concept and basically remade it in Dreams, and it's amazing because with Dreams so it's basically a lot of 3D blocks, and then I've just painted over things.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of unique that you can do that. Like there's not many engines that's even possible. So it's very much like 3D blocks with very sort of pretty looking paint strokes over the top, and just some general sort of cheating, like some forced perspective. Like if you actually went into the 3D scene, you'd actually find out the castle is probably about the same height as Amara on the horse. But it looks correct, so that's the main thing.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you very much. And yeah, as you're about to find out, it's 3D.
Oh!
I think it sets the tone really nicely for the whole game. Like it's really cool. I think that inspired a lot of the work in the game as well. It kind of like went back and forth between like a lot of that. Like I think as well something you'll probably talk about is the audio and the music, and I think that was something that was like started by being inspired by the art, and then the art inspired the music, and then the music inspired like back and forth kind of thing. Like these elements kept pushing each other. So
the start screen came really early on as well, so I think it was one of those things that we used the assets again. It's like that really set the tone of what everything else could be, like the UI, like gorgeous UI screen there as well.
And these level splash screens are gorgeous. Like they're just really eye-catching.
I'm pointing on Mike. He's down there on my screen.
Thank you. Yeah, it was my first game that I actually had to do any UI, so that was a learning experience. But we got there in the end.
Mike loves UI now.
Sorry. I'll stick to my day job.
So JJ, what are we seeing? What am I doing right here?
So right now, you've arrived back at this castle where turmoil has occurred, and in order to kind of reach the top of the castle and fix the crystal that is shattered into many pieces, you need to work through these levels and reach the exit in each level and collect the crystal by completing the level. It totally makes sense. So as what you've just done in that first level was basically, and we'll see it a bit more here, is you kind of like switching between two phases or two modes. So you have this mode here where you're controlling blocks and you can rotate them and place them, and then you are switching by pressing triangle. You're switching into the platforming character mode where you're running, jumping, climbing. I think that's all you do. It's fun. It's exciting.
That's the only moveset you need.
Exactly. But I think one of the parts of this was like that core concept of like switching between the two modes can be a little bit. Is actually kind of hard to get your head around when you're first playing. So we wanted to keep everything around that as simple as possible. Like, you have your functions of moving blocks, you have the functions of moving and jumping. And as you're about to find out in this one, you have one other thing you can do. And all of these, it was basically about kind of setting up these very, very simple mechanics of very simple functions, and then letting the level design do the rest of the work of making it more interesting and more, kind of like elevating those features in the best way possible, but keeping it as simple as possible. So in this one you were using basically pressing square to turn the block into a bomb and destroy blocks that are there. Just like that. Although that didn't. That was my. There we go. Yeah. Some blocks are stronger than others just from like their size, basically. But yeah, we wanted it to feel like really physical, really like chaotic and emergent. But also, I think one of the most important things was like having it feel like kind of chaotic in moments, but also very zen-like. I think once you start to get to grips with like building and creating paths, it can feel really nice. I think some levels allow for that more than others, for sure. But so you've used the crystals there that you've collected to essentially rebuild those stairs and enter the main castle.
I guess there's a fun like sort of hitting in there for the community to find like the least amount of blocks to get through a level, or the most, or some weird and wonderful designs. So I can't imagine what it'll be like to see people playing it.
It's really exciting because I mean, even within when we had sort of members of QA looking at this, they would come up with ways to play the game that I'd never, or like none of us had ever seen or even conceived. And that's also always like one of the most exciting things. I think for a game like this, you want to like lean into those things and be like, okay, so how can we sort of design with that and around it? But as you mentioned, so there's this kind of like, once you reach the castle, you have levels have additional crystals. And so there's basically like a time limit. It's not a limit, but it's like a guide for if you can do it under this time, you will win another crystal. And if you can do it with fewer than this amount of blocks, you'll get another crystal as well. So we definitely, it was a kind of hard thing of like balancing. We want people to kind of like not like be able to kind of chill out while they're playing. For me, I love puzzle games where you can kind of like chill out and you can figure out solutions without feeling like you've got to like do it like perfectly straight away. But once you beat each level, you'll see the time and the block count. So then it's like, okay, what do I need to do like to play this differently to be able to do that, and to do it in the I think I love doing it with like trying to figure out the least blocks possible that you can do it with, because I think like there's something really nice about just that like building in a certain, because for me I feel like it might feel like to do that you have to play quite messily, but I think you have to play really like you have to play quite elegantly really to sort of maximize the function of the blocks that you're placing down.
Unfortunately, I'm not a very elegant block builder.
Well, there's something to be said about there was an abstraction to the way you placed those blocks, which I think was really nice.
It's a tricky though. It's a tricky one, isn't it? But it's like so satisfying when you sort of nail that block placing and reduce the amount of blocks you're using. It's just insane how satisfying it makes you feel.
And I think like the more oh, sorry, guys.
And there's like stackers, people who like to make huge towers, and then there's like hardcore freeze frame people who just love to freeze everything and jump. Like play styles.
Oh, so you can you could freeze blocks in mid.
So this is something that you can do in this level actually. I think we kind of point it out in I think maybe level 3 or a bit later on, but here you could freeze jump on the block, and that was one of those things that like that was the moment when I figured out you could do that, where I was like, there's a lot of potential here, because like you can really start to get clever with the way you kind of like stack, and as you said, like Sinead, like being able to like stack blocks, then knock them all down, then run along them whilst they're frozen is really cool. Like there's like it becomes like another game. It's like a kind of parkour thing as well as this kind of building, and I really like how for the most part like, and a lot of the level design was based around like letting people finish a level in lots of different ways, like not prescribing one specific way of finishing it basically. But it's hard because it's funny, like I've played this game so much that like even watching you I'm like, I wouldn't have done that. That's interesting. not in a bad way, but I've got to the point where like I've played it so much where like I find the joy in real like precision builds and getting these like weird ways to kind of like hold, like where you're kind of like playing with the physics and like how can I get this to work in a certain way. I
am somewhat hypnotized, but I am it's such a zen game. At the same time, I can see how it can go like real hardcore.
Yeah. A lot of people say it gets too maybe not too hard, but it gets very hard for I think towards the end of the game. Like, and I think
some of the garden levels are super punishing. Like,
but it's a satisfying
stress those players out.
Yeah. So in the garden, I think you just unlock the garden. There's these basically time trial levels that are kind of a few of them like scroll up the screen, and they're basically just a lot harder. And we've got leaderboards on those as well, so it's like a kind of time-based thing that hopefully like people who really enjoy the gameplay will get something out of like trying to set the best scores on that. I'm going to be setting my scores on the day. So hopefully, to be honest, those will get beaten so quickly. I'm sure. like people in QA were doing times that I don't even understand or fathom how they ever did that. But yeah, like I think hopefully it should be this kind of like Zen experience that if you want to put more into like getting better at, there should be room for you to kind of like excel at this game.
All right, I'm gonna try some of this garden, the garden stuff.
And yeah, so the wisps that you collect in the other levels are basically used to unlock levels here. So
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, those little ghostly buddies that are floating around.
Good luck, Tom. You got this, man.
Thanks, man. Let's do this. Oh, what? How the what?
Yeah, no, I can't even do this one.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, this is a really hard one.
I love that Mike's gorgeous fire is just taunting you there.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, this is a really good place to show off like how cool the kind of like contrast of 2D and 3D elements I think are really, really nice.
Yeah.
Mike did an awesome job there, and yeah, this is a really hard level. It's only when you see someone else play it you're like, oh, maybe this is too difficult.
Did
too
we
early
start
on.
off with that level?
Yeah.
This is the
Fun level.
Challenge level.
Well, I guess I wanted people to come to the challenge levels and be like, oh, okay,
Oh,
this is quite challenging, you know, because I think you know the idea I guess is you could come here, you might be like, I'm not going to do this now. I'm going to go do some other levels and learn more about how to play the game. Because I think it's also kind of cool to like look at this and be like, oh, okay, like how in the normal procession of levels do we get to the point where this is possible to do? And I mean, it does get a lot.
This is hard core, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try some things. No.
Yeah, I think my favorite levels are the ones where there is like a puzzle to be solved before you even, you know, just sitting here like, how do I do this? And once you think you know how to do it, like that's only half the battle, right? It's actually doing it. I really love like Celeste was a game that I used, which is obviously absolutely brutal. But I love like the sort of level design philosophy of that game, where it was like each stage has those kind of two stages of like trying to sit there and figure out how to do it, and then actually being able to pull it off, because those are like two different skills. And I think some I'm just rambling on while you're struggling here.
I had this goal in mind of building a tower up through the fire, and now I've just ended up creating this block of blocks.
Good block of blocks, I like it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, it is a lovely block of blocks.
Mike, I just wanted to touch on. Oh, go on, Mike. You go.
I know. I was going to say that when we were making this, we then found out actually it really needs a really quick restart feature. So it has one.
Yeah. Nice.
In case you get really
annoyed
by your first block, especially for the speedrunners.
Yeah, I've got an idea here. I think I know where I'm going. Can you see where I'm going with this?
No.
I can kind of
through the fire.
Yeah, the issue is gonna be.
High.
Oh yeah, no. How does that make sense? Why would? Oh no. Right, we're gonna come back to the garden.
Maybe I can give you a tip for how I would do that one if you like.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Show me. Let's give this.
Because
we don't normally give spoilers out, but I'm
no. But this is the first challenge level, and I think like it alludes to something we were talking about earlier, which is kind of like building a structure and then knocking it down to be able to run across it.
Like here, like you build it here.
Well,
no,
because you're not going to be able to build. Yeah, you're not going to be able to build to either. But so. I mean, this is how I would do it, and there are other ways of doing this level, but like I would build a tower, build something on the right-hand side, and try to knock it down, and then as it's falling, freeze it, run down, jump on that, get somewhere on the other side.
Smart. Also, like build it like here.
Yeah, exactly. So you basically want something to fall and something to stay there. This is pretty hard for you know, like having only played a few levels of the game though, like I think, you know, I can understand how
I think like
might be tricky, but
we say it's hard, but then the community will come about and they'll just be like, I've done it in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah. Do you know what this is? This is one of those game adverts where you keep intentionally doing it wrong, so they're like, I've got to go and play them.
Yeah. Here for the next hour, folks.
You're gonna be.
It's
remember, you can hold down.
Oh yeah, to go faster.
Yeah.
Oh, is it going? Oh, I froze time.
But remember, you have to wait for a piece so you can clear the fire.
So you'll need something. Yeah, you'll need something to be able to jump over the fire and then onto the falling.
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh,
Nah, it's not.
See,
gonna work.
that would have been perfect.
But I'm not going to make that jump.
I don't
how I
think
did
so.
it is made like 2 towers and then like jumped over to the furthest tower away and then like made a freeze block. So
Nice.
Nice,
it was
nice.
a very heavy blocks. But that was the only time I've ever been able to complete this one.
I get it now. I get where we were going with that. Oh, I see. So we need something like there.
Yeah, and you might be able to even make that. I don't know.
No, not if I jump into the fire.
Not if you do that. That
Not if I jump
probably
into
won't
the fire.
hurt.
That would be bad. Oh my goodness! No.
If you wait for the long triangle, then you can.
Yes.
You might be waiting a while.
Best triangle. There it is. No.
Yeah, I guess if you could have been.
That's where he's a
I
cherry.
should have.
There we go. That's a good one.
Yeah, that would
yeah,
also
nice.
work. But it's okay. That'll work. That'll work. Yeah, that should.
Okay, here we
work.
go.
Oh, shit,
Oh.
I rolled it.
I should have angled it to go higher.
Yeah. We'll see
Don't
how
worry,
see
you
where
can
you
clear
get.
it.
Yeah, you might.
No, you're getting in the pit.
Yeah. It's okay. I should go back to the stream. Let's go back to the Tom Froze's control on the screen.
Stressful.
You don't belong in the garden
We're meant
yet.
to be,
No, I'm going.
we're
I'm
meant to be
leaving.
promoting. We're meant to be promoting this game.
Well, that-
What was that, JJ?
that's a promotion for people who want a challenge.
Yeah.
Head to the garden.
I've played-
Head to the garden. Yeah.
There's games on stream that I can't do, so it's totally in line. It's totally fine. Everyone watching this in the chat, they know it's me. It's me playing it. It's me.
Well, all I can say is, going through the levels in the castle will hopefully give you that kind of understanding that you'll be able to go back there and be like, yes, I can do this now.
Yeah.
It's very much, this is the Dark Souls platformers. Including the way you've just trapped yourself.
Oh my!
Was that a bug?
No.
There we go.
You can get yourself free, but to be honest,
Restart.
Yeah, I would restart.
Oh, here we go.
Maybe I should have put a block on. Nah, that's fine.
No, you're right.
I want to get the sprite,
Yeah, you gotta get the little whisk.
Yeah.
so I'm just destroying things. There we go.
There you go.
I want to destroy one more. Oh, I destroyed
Doesn't
too
get
many.
any more satisfying
That's
than
okay.
destroying blocks, though, right?
Yeah, I love the
No.
and the I think Mike, you did those block VFX things, right? It looks so good.
Blooming. Yeah.
Yeah. There was
It's
a
funny,
point.
actually, because
I was gonna say there was a point where they were like physical and they actually affected the level. I thought they were gonna really mess you up. So you get like stuck under a block and the block would like slip out.
that's the kind of speed we were working at making this game. It's just like, let's just keep collision on. We don't have time for this.
And we kept it that way for quite a while as well. So only
Yeah.
right near the end we were like, we should probably get rid of this.
Probably not do this.
Yeah.
It was like it used to have like a timer on the freeze, so you only had like 5 seconds.
Oh my goodness!
And that was
yeah.
so hard. Like
That
unlimited
was-
freeze changed the game completely.
Yeah, I think we got to a point. And to be honest, the main reason we took that out is because me and Mike were on calls for like 3 days. We were like, how do we teach the 5-second freeze? How do we use the UI? How do we do this? And then we were like, should we just get rid of it? And it did make the game a lot better. So I think like sometimes you're kind of like blinded by being like, oh well, we need this challenge, we need this added challenge, we need this kind of like stress. And I think it really made it a lot less zen. It was like
Yeah.
it's pretty stressful to be like.
Yeah, because the levels used to be originally timed at the beginning as well, wasn't it? It was only actually
Oh, really? Like, overall?
this time.
Yeah. Like you had to do it in a certain time, and you had to, you only had, as I say, like you only had a few seconds in freeze mode.
Yeah.
And all of this, so it was hard. And it's still
Or maybe
still
we'll
kind of
have
hard.
to
But,
do another stream where we show how to speedrun it.
yeah, I'd love
like,
to show. Like when you see Mike play, even I think Mike's better than me. It's so cool.
I won't be able to speedrun it. We'll have to do the opposite, like the longest.
Yeah. You can
We've
take
got it right here. We got the stream right here.
Wow.
Dev,
Yeah.
Dev,
Minutes.
Dev.
Tom's worse than I am.
Well,
Sorry, this stream wasn't meant to be all of us laughing at Tom.
Yeah. It's cool that you got this far. No.
And thanks. Well, I think in that case, I'm going to stop playing.
Sorry.
And we're going to talk about when these lovely folks in the chat can actually play the game. So we were talking about the release date. JJ, do you want to tell the world when A Long Climb Ago will be available to play in Dreams?
Yeah, I would love to. It's gonna be a long climb ago it's gonna be a short climb in the future.
Nice.
Which is gonna be Tuesday.
Wednesday. Today's Tuesday.
And today's
PSA, we're not pre-recording this at all. This is not pre-recorded in any way.
It's gonna be Wednesday. It's gonna be Wednesday,
yes.
the 29th.
Yay!
Yeah!
That's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
That's what I meant. It's tomorrow.
All right. That was excellent.
It's like those sort of New Year's countdown things where it's just this countdown for New Year's. This is a pre-recorded show.
We're pre-recording this for ease because we've got a lot going on in the MPs, but we're in the chat right now. I'm going to say hi now. Now I need to remember to say hi when it goes out.
To Tom.
So if you've got any questions, we can't answer them right now, but if you've got any questions, ask the team on social and everywhere. We're going to be doing a load of promo for it over the next few days, next week. We want to hear your high scores. We want to see your creations in A Long Time Ago, and share your love for it. Everyone, Alcateam, thank you so much for joining. It's always excellent to speak to you all. So everyone give everyone a round of applause. Good work.
Thank you, Tom.
Well done, Tom. Well done,
Thank
Tom. Good.
Well done, Tom. You played it excellently.
I
No
did.
matter what anyone says.
I am so pro. I am so pro. Thank you very much. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Look forward to A Long Climb Ago tomorrow. It will be part of a patch. So probably midday-ish. We'll let you know when it's live in-game. I hope you're really enjoy it. It's so much fun to play. It's so zen and also incredibly stressful, which is the best kind of game. So in the meantime, everyone stay safe, stay healthy. Everyone say bye.
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 Enjoy the game.
Yeah, I hope you all enjoy it.
Yes. And if you don't, just send all your hate to me.
There we go.
That's fine.
Hey,
That's all good. Yes.
Bye, everybody.